Chapter 16. I'm never buying lingerie again, Sarita complained to her friends as they sat around chatting one evening. Aarti burst into laughter. Why, darling, don't you need something to uplift the masses? Geeta guffawed. Are you planning to go commando? It was one of those evenings when they all needed to talk about inane things rather than what was actually happening at home. They had decided to go for a walk around the 3 buildings and take a stroll in the lawns. I definitely need to buy a better sports bra, Natasha said, as she increased her pace to keep up with the girls. Well, don't go to the guy on Hill Road in Bandra, Sarita said, shaking her head in alarm. Why? Did he make a pass at you? Natasha asked. No, but he said I would look sexy in a 5-piece. The girls giggled and continued walking. What's a 5-piece? Geeta asked. Is that even lingerie? Don't we all only wear 2 things? They'd covered the entire walking track for the first time in their life. It was a beautiful landscape that went around the lawns, the yoga room, and the swimming pool that Sapphire Towers was proud of. After sitting in one spot for years, they had finally decided that they would start walking and talking, and that way could get healthier, since Geeta was now bringing some snack or the other every alternate day, and the calories were beginning to sit on their hips. A 5-piece is little items of clothing, including a sheer, slip, robe, I think. Even I don't know, it's all very confusing. But that's not the point, Sarita said. Geeta still didn't get it and looked at Aarti for help. Aarti replied, Leave it. But Sarita insisted. How did he say I would look sexy? That's just shocking. Was he looking me up and down? Aarti dismissed the idea. There are only male salesmen for lingerie now. It's very embarrassing. Wherever I go, they ask me, what size do I want? Why should I tell them? Even my husband doesn't know. Natasha added, I hate how they look you up and down and say, you must be an A cup. Bastard, I'm completely a B. The girls burst into laughter. Aarti suddenly said, with characteristic drama, Oh my God, I have some gossip for you. What? The girls said in unison. Apparently, the society members are going to meet this afternoon to discuss whether to light up all the refuge floors. Some chairman caught his daughter making out with a boy in one of them. Natasha gasped. She hoped it wasn't Diya. What's a refuge floor? Asked Geeta. Aarti replied, The floors that connect all the 3 towers. There is such a thing? Geeta was clueless. An entire floor? Well, Aarti explained. There are apartments on the floor, but instead of 3, there are only 2. And the 3rd is an area that leads to the other building. All the buildings are connected through these refuge floors. There are 4 or 5 of them, I think, on the 3rd, 8th, 12th and 15th floors. It's a safety precaution that multi-story buildings have in case a fire breaks out. So who got caught? Sarita asked. Srivastav's child. Really? Geeta said. But she's just 15 years old, isn't she? Natasha scoffed. These children start early. I wouldn't be surprised if Diya also has a boyfriend. Kids nowadays hide everything from us. Reminds me of Shivani's son, Sarita said. That one is so spoiled. He doesn't say please or thank you. He's 5 and already so rude. Not only to strangers, mind you, but even to his parents. He speaks badly to the servants, I tell you. How are women raising their children these days? Sarita thought to herself. Geeta gritted her teeth. That's one thing I won't tolerate, being discourteous. If Renu or Anu spoke back to me or the servants, I will slap them. Thankfully, it's not happened yet. Natasha stayed quiet. Diya had often behaved badly with her and thought nothing of speaking coarsely to the maid. She had reprimanded her, but Vikram had taken Diya's side, as always. The maid had then quit, leaving Natasha scurrying around to do all the housework. It seemed the maid issues never ended. She decided to ask for help this time. She couldn't keep things bottled up. Diya was getting out of hand. If her friends couldn't help her, then who else could? She said. When Diya told the maid off, the maid left. I just didn't know what to do then. I don't know how to raise that child. I've tried being her friend, being firm, indulging her, being around for her. Nothing works. That's terrible, Sarita said, adding in jest, I would rather have my maid stay with me than my kids. The maid is indispensable. The girls again burst into laughter and decided to sit down. They had done enough walking for the day. You've got to be firm with Diya, Geeta said to Natasha. What you allow will continue. Be strong and stop the things you don't like. The sooner the better. I've done that, but she still likes throwing a tantrum, Natasha said. Sarita replied. Stick to it then, Natty. You can't be firm 1 minute and give in the next. You're sending out mixed signals to your children. If they don't like your decision, tell them to do it themselves. Aarti chimed in. I read in a magazine that the only way to get through your teenage kids is to use social media. Like friend them on Facebook and start liking their posts so they think you're on their side. Then discuss if they want to talk about something specific when they're around. If they're really troubling you, send them an email about how you felt about their behavior and what you want to do to reach out and understand them better. Aryan is turning 8 soon, so I'm keeping all this in mind. It might help, darling. Thanks, you guys, Natasha said. Great suggestions. About another thing, Geeta said. I've been thinking about the catering service idea that you all have been encouraging me about. Do you really think I should try it? Yes, they all said. Geeta was a great cook, and they were sure she could make a profession out of it. Aarti said she would ask Amit to help, and they could sit together to take the idea forward. Sarita offered to go around the building to distribute pamphlets. They started making a plan on what she should include in the dabba service. So what name should we call it? Natasha asked. They came up with a few suggestions, but Geeta didn't like any of them. I like Geeta's Kitchen, she said, and everyone agreed it was a nice name. Natasha almost blurted out that she would ask Rahul to come up with a logo for it, but she knew Sarita would ask how she knew that her son could draw. While the women discussed Geeta's business, Natasha plotted how to talk to Rahul again. A thought that made her smile.